Add some all-purpose flour, and I'm not making too many of these tonight, so I don't measure anything. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. But I'm just gonna have some flour. Let's see. Yeah, this is enough for now. I'm just gonna add some flour here. In addition to the flour, I'm gonna add some sugar. So I'm just gonna add, I guess this one's a little bit more countable. So let's see, about 3.5. Probably just 3. I don't want it to think, but I'm probably just do a little bit. So about 3 and a little less than a half of sugar. Okay. Then I'm going to add baking powder. And so baking powder, I'm just going to add a tablespoon of baking powder. Come out fully. Okay. And then, of course, I need to add some salt. All right, so now I'm going to add some salt, and this, I guess, is a teaspoon of salt. All right, so we have about a teaspoon of salt. And then stir it all around. I'm trying to get as much of a homogeneous mixture as possible. Okay, and last but not least, I'm gonna add some butter flavor Crisco. But this, I'm only gonna do a tablespoon of this. So this is, just right about this. Oh, come on. There. Yes, my hands are clean. That was the first step, to make sure your hands are clean and make sure you don't have any rings on or anything like that, okay? You don't want to contaminate your batch. All right, so now from here, we add some water, and we're going to add some water and we're going to knead it up, okay? All right, so I've added some water, and then what you want to do, you see, what you want to do is use your hands and just go around and do like that. Squish, squish, squish. Try to get it. See, just squish, squish, squish with your hands. Again, make sure you're not wearing any rings, any jewelry or anything like that. And just to keep going around like that until you get all the liquid in there, and then you formulate it into a dough. So I'm gonna continue to do this until it becomes a dough. So you see how it's starting to get like a dough. See that? Just get all the flour in. Make sure it's not too sticky. And then you'll be good to go. Just keep it going. Make sure you're getting all the flour in there. All right. After all of the pulling together, see, this is what your dough should look like. See? Soft to the touch, not too sticky, but not really sticky at all. So it's easy to, pull apart. All right, y'all. So I made the Johnny cake dough yesterday. And I put it in a Ziploc and I put it in the fridge, since I actually plan to do the pâtés today. So now you see how to make it. And then, so this is now what I'm getting ready to use to continue on the next step. I had already made my saltfish, but I'm just going to walk you through a little bit. So first you need to, obviously, to make the saltfish, you need to get a bowl. You're going to fill it up with water, and then you're going to soak your saltfish. I soaked my saltfish for a full 24 hours before starting to cook. All Right. Again, so sorry about this. So I done prepared it yesterday after I prepared my dough. So just want to give you the gist of my saltfish. So anyway, so of course I use this pan here, and I put in all these different types of herbs from my garden, as you've seen before. So I have some onions, I have some tomatoes, some yellow, red, and green peppers. I have a little bit of other spicy pepper in there as well too. I have basil, I have a little bit of dill, I have parsley, just stuff from my garden, and of course the saltfish. And then of course you cook it in. It's saltfish, so it's fish. It doesn't need to cook long, so you saute it in a pan like you're gonna see in the following pictures. All right, so this is the saltfish that I made yesterday, and I just added some basil and some parsley on the top of it as I scooped it out for my dough. So I put it, so when I made it in that pot that you just saw, I put it in this Pyrex dish, and then I put it in the fridge overnight. So now I'm about to make my saltfish pate using the dough I made yesterday and the saltfish I made yesterday. So you know to make the dough, so whatever you want to put in the inside, if you want to do some veggies in the inside, whatever it is, now you can figure it out because you got a dough pot down now, right? Okay. All right, so one other thing I need to, here is my fork that's in water, that's waiting for my next step. So I've cleaned my counter. I'm going to use the counter here. And of course, you're also going to need a rolling pin, right? So now, before I take any of the dough out of the Ziploc, I am going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on here so that this dough don't stick all over my countertop, yeah? So I'm just gonna spread this out a little bit here. Just to have, you know what I mean? All right, so let me take out a piece of dough now. All right, I just tore off a few pieces of the dough so then I could just, you know, roll and go, roll and go, roll and go. Again, make sure your countertops and them things are clean. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to start to roll the first one. All right, y'all. I just broke my rolling pin. I accidentally dropped it and I broke it, so I got to get it fixed. So in the meantime, I'm going to use my alternative to get this done. But essentially, you want to roll it, right? Roll it as much as possible. Get it as flat as much as possible. Of course, you will have a proper rolling pin, so you shouldn't have any problems. But you see, this is working. So I'm just going to show you using one of them, and then I'm going to get to the next step. All right, so you want it flat like this, okay? All right, by the way, you could add cheese to it if you want. You don't have to. You could put in cheese along with your saltfish. All depends on what you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and prepare my deep fryer. I'm going to actually, let me plug it in. All right, so I'm going to do the temperature to the same of that for French fries. Okay, so 375. And while this is warming, I'm going to go ahead and get to the next step. So now that this is in there, what I'm going to do next is get a slice of cheese. I'm adding cheese to mine. And this one is mild cheddar. I'm going to fold it in half like this. And I'm just going to put one in the center here. Not going to overdo it with the cheese. And then from there, you're going to add your saltfish. Yeah? And just a little bit more of the saltfish. The saltfish smells so good, eh? Okay, just a little bit more. I don't like saltfish where you gotta be trying to find the meat. Check, so I like to have a decent amount in mind. Okay, so unlike the Johnny burritos, what you do with the saltfish now, you're not making an envelope. You're going to, let's see which side I want to do. I'll do this side since it has the longer side. You want to bring this over, right? You want to bring this over, and I'm going to cut off the excess, so you'll see what I do. And of course, I want to flatten this down a little bit so this thing is sticking up. Let me get a knife. All right. So I'm just going to cut off, make sure, see where my meat is, and I'm just going to cut off a little bit of this extra here, okay? Don't want to overdo it, eh? You just... There we go. All right, and that's, remember this thing I showed you earlier? The fork in water? Then what you do from there is you press down. And what the water does, it helps to create the seal so that it's not opening up when you're frying it. Okay. All right, and voila. First one is ready for the fryer, but the fryer is not ready yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some more while I'm waiting for the fryer to be ready. All righty. As you can see here, we have the first two are finished. Yep, first set finished. Well, not set, but you know, first two. Just you can see here, see everything stayed intact. All right, so I am finished, and this is my batch of saltfish pate. All right, let's see what it tastes like. Oh, this is good. It's really good. All right, just to show you a little bit of the inside. Don't mind my ashy hands. Can't really see it so good, but all right. And it has a nice little crunch as well too. All right, and that does it for my saltfish pâtés. So thank you for joining me on another session with Cooking with A La Arvy. Take care until the next go round. Bye.